What's the most bizarre house rule you've encountered at someone else's home? When I was around 8, I went to a friend's house for a playdate dinner after school. When I asked for a drink, her mom gave me a baby bottle with squash in it. I laughed, but she didn't laugh back. My friend took her own bottle and started drinking. I asked the mom if I could please have a cup instead, but she told me nope, and that children drink from bottles in their house. Never went there again. Playing beer pong at this one couple's house, and the rule was if the ball hit the floor and their cat got to it first, everyone had to finish their drinks. Cat was wicked fast too. If we slammed the door as kids, my dad made us kiss the door to make it feel better. In high school I had a friend whose dad was in the military. Not only did he make us do house chores, dusting, vacuuming, dishes when visiting, sleeping over, but he also woke us up at 6 a.m. by banging pots and pans to make us run around the neighborhood. He called it morning boot camp. Needless to say, I only slept over there a few times. I felt so bad for her. I cannot sit on the couch at my dad's house if his wife is home because she will feel invaded. She has to have the whole couch to herself. So I get to sit in a dining room table chair. The most bizarre house rule that I've encountered was at my friend's place, where they had a strict policy of no talking during dinner. Not because of any traditional reason, but because their elderly grandmother believed that a mischievous spirit living in the dining room would learn secrets and cause chaos. If the lights were on, you got yelled at for them being on and wasting energy. If the lights were off, you got yelled at for being in the dark. I have friends that don't allow their older teenagers to eat if the parents aren't home, in case they choke. I'm serious. Oh, and usually someone is home so they're not starving. Of course the kids sneak snacks, but to have it as a house rule is weird. And they're the nicest people but madly cautious. When I was a kid, my friend's dad made his kids line up on the couch and just sit there silently while he watched TV and drank a beer. If you were visiting, you had to do it too. When my mom heard about it, I wasn't allowed to go over there when he was home. My mom knew an abusive weirdo's behavior when she saw it. My friend's mom wouldn't let her put any trash in the bathroom trash can. There was a trash can there, but it was just there for show. They were directed to put all trash generated in the bathroom down the toilet. When I was like 14, my friend was having a Halloween party. I had my period, so I went to the bathroom to change my pad. I wrapped up my old pad in some toilet paper and threw it away. The next day at school, my friend said her mom was going through the trash. I guess this was something her mom did face with spiral eyes, and she found the wrapped up bloody pad and was angry about it. My friend, who was also another girl, got in trouble for it because her mom thought it was hers. This was 15 years ago and I'm still so freaking confused by it. If you need to pass gas, you have to go outside and all the way to the mailbox. Guests eat last. My aunt's ex-husband used to make me sit and watch everyone eat before I could be served food. In 1972, we were amazed when a colleague announced that no one would be allowed to smoke in his house. Once stayed at a relative's place where they had a strict no radio waves after dark rule. Post-sunset, Wi-Fi was shut down, phones were powered off, and even the microwave was a no-go zone. They believed that radio waves interfered with sweet dreams. The first night I was there, I felt like I time traveled to a pre-internet era. I have a job that involves going into people's homes. I had an inspection once at house where the homeowners insisted that I put on this light blue bath robe over my clothes and white slippers to enter their home. The husband, wife, and adult daughter who lived with them were all wearing the same blue bathrobes. This was in the U.S. Midwest. Just a typical American Midwestern family, so it wasn't even like a cultural thing that I was unaware of. I still wonder to this day if they were messing with me. No talking about or watching anything that contained magic. Harry Potter was banned along with many shows and cartoons. You couldn't ask for get a drink halfway through a meal. You either had to ask for get one before you were served or wait until you were done. I could never understand it. Attended a birthday slumber in middle school for a girl that I wasn't really close with. My mom wanted me to go because she knew the girl didn't have a ton of friends. So, it's a weekend night, probably a Friday. We're all in our sleeping bags on the floor, giggling and talking like most middle school girls do. Her mom comes in at like 9 p.m. and tells us it's time for bed, and if she hears any of us talking, she'll call our mothers and make them come pick us up. FFs. Who does that? I had a high school best friend who had to change out of her school clothes the minute she got in the door. Her mom was also oddly obsessed with her patting her face dry instead of rubbing it. I guess that's not a rule, but I can remember 2 separate occasions where she got in trouble for this. Apparently because it ages you? But her mother would also buy us smokes. So, I've really been enjoying reading all these replies. And today I learned that maybe we were the weird house because we didn't have this rule D. A school friend's parents had a rule where you couldn't wee directly into the toilet water and had to aim for the inside edge of the bowl. I forgot one time and was never allowed back again because they'd heard me wee. Knew someone who was an engineer for BT back in the 90s. He used his skills to build a household PBX exchange with a billing system. Once a month he would present his children with a printed bill for the calls they made. He also had a payphone for visitors to use. They had a room in their basement that they let the dog shit in if they didn't feel like taking it for a walk. Everyone needed to be patted down and searched just in case someone was the feds wearing a wire. Tears of joy. My aunt doesn't let anyone kill flies in her house. She also lets rats and raccoons live in her attic because they have nowhere else to live. Grandparents of my childhood friend. We weren't allowed to step on the doorstep's thresholds. We always had to step over it. Never directly on. Still don't know why. I just thought of one, although it was not something I encountered at the time. I lived in a city where it was well over 105 for over 14 days. During an informal office get-together, a few of us women commented how the first thing to come off at home was our bras. As teenagers and young adults, she and her sisters had to wear a bra while sleeping. Her mom or grandma would occasionally do a bed check. If they were braless, they would be beaten. As an adult, she still could not break the habit of wearing one. Her own girls were warned to always wear one while visiting grandma and GT grandma. I met a girl at a new school and she invited me to spend the night and asked me, "Do you smell bad?" Though, we had a girl over once and she smelled so bad. So my parents want to know if you smell bad. I never went to her house. Went home one day and mom said we were moving back to our old neighborhood, so I never went back to that school again. Must be up by 9 a.m. and fully clothed. No pajamas or sweats if it was the weekend, and even if you had no plans to go anywhere or do anything, we would wake up and just sit there. Went to a friend's house for a sleepover when I was about 7. The rule was no talking at the dinner table. The dad was in the other room watching TV while myself, friend, his sister and mother were supposed to just eat in silence, and the whole vibe was like, "Don't anger Daddy." Super fucked up and sad to think people live like that. When we slept at my best friend's house growing up, we weren't allowed water after 8 p.m. because that's when her mom went to bed and she didn't want us waking her up to use Tuesday bathroom. She had a little yippy dog who would bark at every little sound, and if we came out to use the bathroom, she would bark. I only slept over there a handful of times, lol.